What's up everyone, Clark Glassford, founder of My Practice Interview, where I help you get hired. I am super stoked about this video because we're talking about questions that you should be asking to get answers to before you accept any job offer that comes your way. This is so important for you to make sure you are getting the right job offer under the right conditions with the right employer for any opportunity that comes your way. We're going to talk about 8 different themes where I'm going to give you sample questions that you can ask under each of these themes throughout the recruitment process and get answers to, so you are making an informed hiring decision and an offer accepted decision. So without any further ado, I want to get into this video. I hope you do too. Are you ready? I sure am. Let's go. So today we're talking about job offers and getting that job offer, but making sure you have all the right information before making that accepted decision, making sure you're getting in with the right employer. I have 8 different themes. I want you to go through each of these 8 throughout the video. Stick around to the end because my favorite theme is right at the end, and it's one that people often just don't get the right handle of. I'll give you a hint. It has to do with compensation, benefits, and salary, so you want to stick around for that. So make sure you stick around for all the themes and the questions that you can ask. Now, I don't want you asking all these questions. You should be asking between 5 and 10 throughout this interview process. You will learn some answers to some of these questions by doing your own research. You will learn them because the employer will offer you that information, but there are some areas that I want you to explore so that you are making the right hiring decision. So a couple key tips here before we get into these 8 key theme areas. You're prioritizing which questions you're asking. 5 to 10 questions, that's it. You want to make sure you're only answering 5 to 10 questions. Asking all these questions I'm about to suggest, it is going to be overwhelming for an employer. It will likely turn them off. Be tactful. Make sure you're using the right time, the right opportunity to ask those questions. It could be in the interview. It could be after you've received the offer and you have some clarifying questions that you need asked. So make sure you're being tactful. Research first, of course. Make sure you're researching the employer and what's all about the employer through their website, through news articles, through their social media accounts. Make sure you do that research because some of the answers to these questions you'll be able to find in those forums. And make sure you follow up with any answers that you find are vague. Ask probing questions. So that's kind of the framework I want you to go with when we get into what these themes are. And so you have that concept to ask these questions. Now, first, make sure you understand the role and responsibilities. That's the first question set here. So roles and responsibilities, understand what the job's all about, what you'll be doing on a daily basis, what you're going to be responsible for. You would think that intuitively an employer would tell you all those details, but maybe they don't. So the questions you see here on the screen are questions that you can use to make sure you ask throughout that recruitment process to make sure you have answers to make an informed hiring decision to join that employer. Next, team and collaboration. So this is number 2. So who's the team you're going to be working with? Who's your boss? Who are some of the team members? What's that environment look like? That's really, really important. You are going to be spending a lot of time with this employer, with this manager, with these teammates. You want to know specifically what that looks like. So use some of these questions that I'm suggesting here to ask very pointed questions about that team and that team environment. Next, number 3, culture and values. Understanding what the organization's culture and values are. Now, every organization, they're going to post those things on their website, on their social media. They're going to be pumping up their tires to show just how fantastic they are with their culture and values. You've probably already looked at those and make sure that they're aligned with yours. But you want to hear it from them. You want to hear it from the hiring team that's interviewing you. You want to hear from the hiring manager who you'll be working for, because they may differ a little bit than what's posted on their websites and on their social media. That gives you further insight as to whether this is an organization you want to join or whether this is an organization you want to avoid. Next, number 4, work environment. So what I mean by that is, what's the schedule? Are you working in an office? Is it hybrid? Are you working 8 to 4, 8 to 5, Monday through Friday, or is there lots of overtime weekends? Things like that you just need to know what that work environment looks like. So again, you're making that informed hiring decision as to whether this works for you and your work-life balance or not. So look at some of these questions that are up on the screen again that you can use to make sure you ask. Make sure you ask some questions on the kind of the company vision, mission, values, that type of thing, the strategic direction they're going in. So that company vision is really important. You need to understand what the vision is, where they're planning on going, how they're planning on doing it. Professional development. So are there opportunities here for professional development? A lot of times applicants fail to ask this, and it's a really important one for them to know that, am I just joining this role and I've kind of hit the glass ceiling, so to speak? I can't go any higher. There's no room for development, whether that's professional development, career development, educational development with that employer. So make sure that you understand what those developmental opportunities might look like, how they can support you in reaching your career goals. So ask some of these questions here that may help highlight that. Now, my favorite one here, of course, I told you to stick around to the end. I want to make sure you do. Compensation, benefits, salary. You want to be very, very clear on these. What is this salary? What are the benefits that they are providing? Make sure they show those to you. Get the benefit package, all the different bits and pieces that come along, the different allowances, pension, RSP matching, 401ks, all of that stuff. You want to make sure is very, very clear. Now, the number 21 here on the list of questions is one that gets missed over and over again. And are there any performance-based incentives or raises? Many applicants don't really dig into this and don't understand what that process looks like once they've joined that employer. So is there a bonus at the end of the year? If so, how much? How often do they award bonuses? Is it annually and is it expected? Or is it ever any year where they kind of hit those performance targets? Some years you get bonuses, some years you don't. You should know that. Merit increases. So does everyone just get a cost of living adjustment every year? Merit increases. When is that given? Is that at the end of the year? Is that on your anniversary date of when you were hired? So those are really key things to know. And 9 times out of 10, when I'm interviewing applicants for a position, they do not ask a question on that. They get hired in the job and then they start asking those questions. And if they don't align to what they were originally looking for, that's a bit of a disappointment for that new hire to that organization and to the role they've stepped into. And perhaps they may have kind of acceptance regret. Like, maybe I shouldn't have joined this employer in the first place, knowing that my salary, there's really no room to grow. So use these questions that I've given you here on salary, but make sure number 21 is part of the questions you're asking. Typically, you're not asking salary questions in the early stage of the interview. This comes at the end, or once they've given you that offer and you've had time to digest what it is they're offering, that you're asking those questions. The final area you want to ask questions on, and the final questions are for considerations, are things like, why is this position open? Really important to know why it's open, why there are any vacancies, what are the next steps for accepting this offer? So what are the steps? Is it just you accepting an offer? Do they still have to do references and background security clearance? So what are the next steps in that process? And is there anything else I should know before deciding? Really, really integral question that you can ask. A lot of the times they'll say no, but maybe there'll be something that they're going to give you there, a little nugget of information that will help incentivize or just further solidify the decision you have to make sure that you are accepting the right job offer. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. It is so key for you to make the right informed hiring decision to join that employer so that you are happy when you step foot in the door and expand and grow in your career. As always, please like, subscribe to my channel. If you need advice and guidance on an offer that you've received, reach out to me. My contact information is in the description below. You can reach out, we can set up a time to talk and review that offer. Until next time, I hope you've enjoyed this video. We'll see you then.